This is a live webinar, workshop, whatever you want to call it, for understanding the traps that we fall into whenever we status spend. And now, what even is status spending? We're going to get into all of that, okay? But if you don't know who I am, my name is Teddy. I am a money coach, and I help you take control of your money and your spending to be your best self at home and at work. If you're watching replay, go ahead and comment replay. I'm excited for today, and yeah, comment below where you're watching from. I want to know who y'all are, where you're at, and we'll just get started, right? Get right into it. Just be respectful of y'all's time and why you're here. So, if you've ever thought, oh, status spending is like for the rich people, for the superficial people, like the people who carry the nice bags, the nice cars, who wear the nice watches, right? This is what I have in my head about what status spending is and what it looks like. Surely I'm not superficial enough to spend money to look good or feel good. That's not me. I don't make a lot of money, so I'm just spending on the necessities. I'm just trying to pay my groceries, gas, and all my bills and all this stuff. But as I was actually doing more digging for this topic, because I know it affects a lot of people, both low and high income earners, I realized this was me a lot of times. And so today we're going to cover the 3 biggest traps that we get into because of this mindset of status spending. And so we're going to cover following the herd, or following the crowd actually, following your people, and then following your heart. And so if you're excited for today's training, go ahead and comment spending, all caps, exclamation mark. I want this training to be valuable to you and engaging. So if you have any questions that you want to drop in the comments, either live or if you're watching the replay, I'll respond to you, get your questions answered, and really just have some fun with this. All these trainings that I do are meant to be eye-openers, basically helping you become more aware of what you're spending on, how you're spending, to ultimately impact your money. Now, it is no secret that if you spend less money, you will have more money for saving, for paying off debt, for your future, or just having fun on the things that really add value to your life. And that's the biggest pillar of why I do all of this. I'm not necessarily teaching you how to not spend and how to save, but how to spend in a way that still adds value to your life, that doesn't feel like you're stripping away at your values or yourself and your livelihood. So if you're excited, go ahead and comment a fire emoji. I am so ready to talk about this topic because it's so near and dear to my heart. So we'll just dive right into the first point, following the crowd. Why is this a trap? Well, what does it even look like? Typically, following the crowd looks like social media, especially the comparison game that we have between ourselves and the highlight reel of everyone's life. I'm seeing my friends, my family taking these awesome trips. They're going to Europe. They're just going to these concerts and really nice places to eat, really great pictures and all of this stuff, all while I'm just laying in my bed at midnight, 1 a.m., scrolling my phone. Wow, these people are living the life. They are so happy spending all this money. They got the nice cars, the nice relationships, and all this stuff. Getting in this cycle of, why am I not there? Why does my life not look like that? Maybe it's because they have all these things. So if only I had these things, I would also be happy, right? But that's a trap. We're comparing our day-to-day mundane life with the highlight reels of someone else's. And that's all social media is. Yeah, there are people that'll post more real stuff, but generally speaking, people want to celebrate what they're happy about. They want to share in their wins. Oh my goodness, look at this nice car I got. All this stuff. But when that happens and we're just feeding ourselves with this portrayal of everyone else's life, of course we're going to feel inadequate. Of course we're going to want to spend and feel the same way that it seems like they feel. And following the herd, following the crowd, whether it's a trend or a trip, or maybe it's, just the biggest one that impacted recently was just the Stanley Cup trend. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I was sitting outside of a Target at like 6 a.m. in the morning in like the winter. I didn't even bring like a great jacket just for this Stanley Cup. Now, it wasn't for me, but the point is getting into this mindset of I gotta have what other people have. I don't want to miss out on these experiences, on these purchases and things like that. That fear of missing out is so prominent for a lot of us, right? No matter what income bracket you are, whether you're making 40,000, 400,000, 4 million, it doesn't matter. We all want a sense of belonging, and that's why we fall prey to this comparison game, to fitting in the social media environment, and even just like your physical environment too, the places you hang around, even the people you see at, say, church or community groups and stuff like that. So, how do we even get around this? Like, the trap itself being we're comparing ourselves to what we think everyone else's life looks like. And so getting out of this trap is really thinking, like, I want you to meditate on this. No one actually cares what your life looks like. Yeah, it's cool to celebrate the fun things, like, whoa, you got to meet so and so or whatever. But everyone is living in their own world, and they're posting their social media for themselves at the end of the day, really. And so if you're truly living for yourself, if no one else in the world was watching what you had, would you spend on these things? So do they actually add value to your life? A lot of times when I'm just by myself, I'm like, why do I need the newest iPhone? Or why do I need a new laptop? Or why do I need, a 2024 car? I want to feel good about myself when I'm around other people. I want to fit in. I want to just belong, the sense of community, but it's the false sense of community. And just knowing that what really matters when you shut off the screen and put the horse blinders on to what is the best interest for your life, you start to make decisions that are more based on your values and not your perception of other people and comparing them to yourself. The actual tactical fix you can do with that, outside of just like reminding yourself that everyone's living in their own world, so just focus on you, focus on what's good for you. Sometimes that means just unfollowing or just muting some people on social media. Y'all, I have unfollowed and muted probably hundreds of people just because of this. It's not healthy. It's not healthy to compare myself over and over again. So if that's you, give me a little hand emoji. No shame about it. We all fall victim to it. There's no shame. And that's what this is all about. I want you to have an environment for your personal finances that you can feel empowered, you can feel connected, you can feel that you can express yourself and know that other people are experiencing the same things you are. So, what is the next one? Following your people. Now, Teddy, what the heck does this mean? The reason why I put it this way is for all of my chronic people pleasers out there. I am the chronic people pleaser. What does this look like? Well, think about a friend or family member that invites you out to dinner. Maybe it's Friday night and you just want to chill at home. They're like, hey, come out with us. We're celebrating so-and-so's birthday party. I don't know so-and-so. I'm not close to them. Why are we going to this fancy schmancy place for a person I don't even know or really care about? But I don't want them to hate me. I don't want them to feel like I hate them and I want to maintain this relationship and all this stuff. So I say yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes to everything. Yes to the drinks. Yes to the gifts and all this stuff. Typical people-pleasing behavior, right? And so falling into this trap of feeling this obligation to someone else based on how I think they're going to view me as a result. Typical people-pleasing trap. And now maybe it's not dinner. Maybe, very recently, getting invited to Christmas parties or Thanksgiving parties. It's that time of the year. Or if it's a wedding. You know, everyone invites their mom, grandma, dog, and cat to a wedding. And it's okay if you're in a financial space not to commit financially to going to a wedding. They're not going to hate you. Maybe you'll have a conversation, but the obligation to go to a wedding, support for someone that may not be close to you. I've definitely had friends who got married, and I'm like, cool, that's great for them, but I'm not close enough to, really be there. And I'm sure that is the case for you all out there too. Yeah, events, celebrations, food, very easy trap to get into when it comes to people pleasing. So, why is this a trap? Very similarly to the first one, this idea of saying yes to everything, even if it's at a cost to ourselves, whether it's financially, emotionally, mentally, like it harms your budget, it harms your finances, all for this noble idea that we're pleasing other people, that people are happy with us, right? So what's the fix? Well, for those of you who understand what boundaries are, setting firm boundaries. What you say yes to, what you say no to, based on your values, based on what you care about. If you commit to yourself, I'm only going to go to these events and stuff if they are truly a relationship I want to keep, truly a relationship that's supportive, then you can say yes to those things. And now if there's just someone that like hits you up here and there, or they don't actually provide any value emotionally, mentally, socially to your life, it's okay to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. A big one actually is with the holiday season, we have to get everyone gifts, $10, $15 gifts. I think that's one of the biggest things that I really stand against is like get obligatory gift giving. You don't have to give anyone a gift. But if it's all in the sake of looking good for other people, feeling accepted, understand that when you set boundaries, there are alternatives that you can do to still feel connected with the people you care most about. So the biggest reminder I actually have for that, for the people pleasers out there, from one to another, is that it is so much more productive and good for your own mental health to choose disappointing someone else over resenting them. So what does that mean? When we're in this state of mind of saying yes to everyone for everything, it's because we don't want them to be disappointed in us. We want to be accepted. We want to be loved and all this stuff. But that resentment builds over time. And so if you can choose to make the best decision for yourself and your family and disappoint someone else as a result, that is still better for y'all's relationship than to not say anything and resent them because they're not considerate of your time, of your energy. So that's the second point. Following your people. Now, if you're getting value from this, go ahead and comment value, exclamation mark, put the emojis, all the stuff before we get into this third point. And don't forget, if you're tuning in live now, go ahead and comment live. If you're watching the replay, comment replay. I'm going to post this recording both on the Facebook group, but also on the YouTube channel if y'all want to check it out there. Sometimes it's easier to watch on that platform. I totally understand. And I probably actually will get this onto LinkedIn too. So, are you getting value? Are you ready to overcome some of these status spending traps? Hopefully you're realizing that this affects everyone. No matter what income bracket, ethnicity, demographic, that we're all susceptible to this because there's this idea of wanting to fit in and belong. It's innately planted in us. And so what's the third one? What's the third point? The third status spending trap. Following your heart. Now, how is this a status spending trap? Like, isn't status just about like how other people view me? and looking good and all this stuff. That's part of it, yeah. But let's think about how we view ourselves. What kind of mental image do we have of who we are, how we present, our value, our own status? So some of the examples I want to go through is more mental frameworks that I've caught myself and caught other people get into. This idea of, I deserve this. I earned this. I want to celebrate and buy myself this nice car. I want to look nice and feel nice. There's nothing wrong with that. I just want to get, a nice haircut or whatever. I deserve whatever this thing is. I had a hard week. I deserve a night out. I want to feel good about myself, have some self-esteem, and now that internal status, that is something we need to be mindful of. There's nothing wrong with it. But if it's costing you financially, keeping you from your financial goals, keeping you in a state of stress, perhaps it's time to take a look at it. Now, following your heart has a big thing to do with this emotional side of spending in a way that is driven by this thing that goes up and down every single day, every hour of the day. And so why it's just a trap. When we're led by our emotions to spend, we're not following a plan, then we can get into a lot of sticky situations. So here's a story about how I got into a little bit of emotional spending. So I love electric cars. All right, I'm a huge Tesla nerd, and a few years ago, I just wanted one. I couldn't afford a Tesla, so the next sort of best thing, the cheaper alternative, was a Nissan Leaf. We found this Nissan Leaf, used Nissan Leaf at this dealership. So went to go look. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna love this. I'm gonna feel so great about myself. Just excited to buy this car. Now, we didn't have the money to pay it in cash, so we financed it. And I was just so eager to get this car, and we put hardly any money down, not great credit history. We had 13% interest rate on this loan. And I was just so excited. Yes to everything. Just give me the car, okay? Give me the car. And you want a warranty? Sure, I'll get the warranty. Just give me the car. I just want this so bad. And so that car total cost was $10,000 for the car, $2,000 for the warranty, $1,000 in interest every year we had that loan, and then of course we're spending more money on insurance too. Now, that ate at me. I was like, I feel good about myself for this car. I feel so confident I did this adult thing to buy my first car. But the actual cost, out-of-pocket cost for all of this stuff was like $13,000 total. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, especially if you out there have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 car. But being a new grad without actually I was in college. Yeah, I was in college, not even a graduate. It was expensive. All for what? To feel a little better about myself. And now that ate at me, paid it off early. You know how much that car was worth when I paid it off? I didn't say I, it was we, my wife and I. It was like $6,000. So within a year of paying it off, we paid $13,000 for this car that was only worth $6,000. $7,000 mistake for a used car. I thought I was doing great, but getting into this emotional spending cycle is so dangerous, especially if you don't have any level of accountability to your emotions. So, how do you fix this? How can you fix this pattern of emotional spending? And that itself is like an entire training that I'll probably do in the future. But the quick tidbit to take away is anything you can do to add time between when you want a purchase and when you actually make it will help. What does that look like? If you're shopping Amazon, maybe that looks like eating a little bit of food, taking a nap, going to sleep if you're shopping at night. Or even better, yeah, wait a day, 2 days. If you're like adding to cart, just 30 items later, you have this thing you don't have to buy now. You have time to think about, do I really need this in my life? Are these purchases really adding value to my life and to myself? Or am I just feeding this emotional void to feel better about myself or just feel better in the moment? And the trap is that it's such a short-term solution. With these spending cycles, emotional spending cycles, it's driven by this up and down roller coaster. It becomes a level of empty spending. And we look back and we're like, oh, I spent $40 on that? It's just sitting in the corner of my closet now. So think about that. Think about adding time, adding a buffer between when you want a purchase, when you're feeling bad about yourself, or you're feeling good about yourself, and actually buying it. So those were the 3 points. Those were the 3 status spending traps that we all fall into, no matter your income. Like I said, whether you're making $40,000 or $400,000 or $4 million a year, doesn't matter. It affects all of us in some degree or the other, and when we can recognize that, that's when true change happens. When we acknowledge that the person in the mirror is a person we need to change. So if you've got value from this, comment value, add an emoji, all the things. Now, I know this is an early morning call, so I didn't expect many of you to tune in live. So if you're watching the replay, still comment replay. And if you're in a place that you're thinking about, I need to change something with my finances. The holidays are coming up, New Year's is coming up, new year, new me, all of this stuff. And I want to get a head start on making real, lasting life change with my personal finances. I want to stop feeling so chaotic and disorganized. I want to stop feeling alone in the struggle. I want to just feel like I can stick to this plan and stay on the plan. And now, I forgot to mention it at the beginning of this call. I do have a coaching program, and it actually focuses on 3 main pillars and 3 main obstacles that a lot of our Gen Z millennials or spenders out there fall into. So that's the whole point of this community. It's called the Spending Detox Community, and the program is meant to help you have a better relationship with your money so you could be financially well. Now, what does that look like? The 3 biggest obstacles that I see so many people face is the first one, feeling chaotic, split among 10 different directions with their personal finances, whether it's catching up on collections, saving for the future, investing in your kids' college, buying a house, changing jobs. It's chaotic. We need some direction. We need some clear path. The second one is feeling alone in the struggle. Now, the stats show the majority of Americans struggle with their personal finances. But why does it feel like we're alone? Why does it feel like no one else understands the weight of having to stress about whether or not my kids get childcare? Whether or not we can handle the financial burden of a car accident or a medical bill? Or maybe just the crushing debt of student loans. So the chaos, the loneliness, and third one is just this yo-yo cycle of these high levels of motivation and emotion, making great progress, and then dipping into a low, going back to old habits, accruing more debt, fighting with your spouse, whatever that looks like. I see those as the biggest 3 obstacles that the people I work with best face. And that's what my programming is about. Helping you have intention and a plan to turn that chaos into some clarity. Being connected with people who understand what you're going through, who could be an encouraging word, so you're not feeling alone in the struggle. And then having consistent, sustainable plan, not just some fad diet in terms of financial aspect. Yeah, no spend months and stuff like that are great, but what are some real long-lasting habit changes, environmental changes can we implement together to help you stay the track? And this is what I call spending detox. Those are the most important pillars that I see over and over again that keep people from that future that they want. In this state of stress, worry, anxiety, overall just feeling stuck with finances, to getting to this dream outcome of being financially free, financially well, being able to start the business, being able to take off time from work to go on that vacation and not have to worry about a fat credit card bill at the end of it. How can we get there? This path, this 3-pillar path through the spending detox is really how I'm able to help you get there. And so if you're interested in that, interested in more information to just apply for coaching, not everyone's a good fit, and I understand that. But what you can expect is that whenever you apply for coaching, really it's just a conversation to see if I'm even the right fit for you, where you want to go. And if not, I have plenty of directions to point you in and people to point you to that'll help you get there. Because at the end of the day, that's why I do this. I want you to change your life with your money. And if I can do that, if I can help you create a lasting legacy for your family, for yourself, I love to be part of that. So if you're interested, comment interested, and then we'll get a conversation going. I'll reach out and we'll just see where you're at, how we can help you. And if we can't help you, like I said, pointing you in the next best direction for resources so that you can still make the progress you want to see with your life and with your money. So that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. For those of you who popped in live, for those of you who are watching the replay, let me know what kind of content is relevant to you, because I want you to have real life change with your money. And I can't do that unless I get a little bit of feedback, okay? But the biggest pillars of the people I can best serve are those who are young professionals, who are young parents, Gen Z, millennials, who find themselves in this chaotic environment, a chaotic state of mind when it comes to money. Feeling lost, maybe you have no budgeting history, don't know anything about personal finance, or even if you think you know everything, but there's some reason why you can't stick to your goals. I get behind the psychology and the social science of it. Basically, that's my background, social work and addiction recovery. So, hope you got value from this. Comment value, yes, exclamation mark, all the things in the comment section. I would super duper appreciate the feedback. All right, y'all take care. So you made it to the end of the video, which means you take your personal finance journey seriously. So just for you, go ahead and click over here for another video, or if you don't have time, subscribe. But I'll see you in the next one.